Hey everybody, we got Tommy and Bobby.
Tommy and Bobby.
And we're in car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing Pacific Rim. Good job. Did you like it?
Yes. I didn't want to see the movie, honestly, but I
did want to see it.
I left liking it.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I liked it too. I could definitely tell, like I couldn't from the previews for some reason, but I could definitely tell that it was a Del Toro movie. You know, the guy who did Hellboy and stuff.
Mm-hmm. The monsters definitely kind of looked like stuff from like Hellboy, at least. I never saw Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. They got pretty creative with that stuff. The plot. There's a rift in the bottom of the ocean. Monsters come through it. And they like totally start destroying the world, and then we make the human race makes giant robots to fight them.
Yeah.
Because for some reason that would make sense.
Guy.
They're like, yeah, we need to make big robots. That's the thing that comes to mind. They're like, oh geez, giant aliens are coming out, guys.
Let's make giant robots.
We have to make giant robots.
Because
that's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And they don't need to have weapons, they just need to punch them.
They just need to punch them.
Funny.
Oh, and have a sword.
Because I was thinking maybe they'd be like big Gundams, you know, and have like machine guns and stuff.
the one guy, they had
I know, he had rockets in his chest.
The rockets in his chest.
And the one guy had the gun Shocko hand.
The gun arm. And then there was
I just feel like most of the time they were rock'em sock'eming.
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it.
It's not a super deep plot. Even though people said it was deep for a monster movie, but I didn't think so.
Well, I mean, there were a bunch of the subplots with like the other characters. You know, the characters trying to.
They were trying to make them seem not shallow, but honestly,
and like the father and the son.
Yeah, the father
subplot or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I honestly feel like they try to put too much meaning into, because like in a movie like this, you go seeing, you're like, okay, this is literally just going to be monsters versus robots.
Yeah.
And they're like, it is, but more. And I'm like,
there's more.
I was like, no, you don't need the more though.
Yeah.
Like for some people that might have been like, oh, it wasn't as shallow and stupid as I thought it was going to be. But for me, I'm just like, it was still kind of shallow and stupid, and I just didn't need the melodrama of everyone else's life. Like, I don't know if you felt the same way. I kind of did. I was like, you don't really need to have deep characters, because they weren't deep anyways to me.
They were,
but they wanted them to be deeper.
They tried to make them deeper by saying like by explaining the relationships behind everybody. Yeah. Which I guess for some people that's good.
Yeah.
But I think for us,
we were just expecting fighting.
I was honestly expecting monsters and robots to be fighting. I thought it was about controlling the robots. Before I saw the movie, I was like, why do they need two people?
Yeah.
Why do they need two people?
And when I saw the trailer,
I'm glad that they instantly explained it.
That I honestly didn't care. I was like, if there's two people in there, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna make it work.
Well, it totally makes sense when they explain the thing about how like one human brain
two parts
can't
of the brain
control it.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it, and how you like morph.
I guess
they basically need two pilots per robot.
Feasible.
And the robot you have like a bond with, and apparently it's too much for one person. You start to freak out, and your brain hemorrhages and stuff.
Yeah.
So you need to have two. One controls like the right side and left side of the brain, and then you go into what's called the drift.
The drift.
You freaking Tokyo drift each other's brains together.
And you pretty much know that you know everything about the person.
Yeah, so technically it's not two people moving it. You're like one.
It's like one conjoined person.
One person mentally.
It's like the opposite of Siamese twins, like getting them, they're conjoining them.
There's the characters, I honestly, my opinion, characters totally forgettable. Asian chick, didn't care. Main guy, really didn't care. I really did not care about that guy.
Half the time I felt like they didn't really care about him either.
Yeah, he's just such a blah actor. Like, no offense to that guy, I'm not saying I don't necessarily enjoy him. I just don't care. Yeah. Like, cool if he's in the movie, that's fine. I just don't care about him. He's just sort of a blank slate, and his voice doesn't help either. He's got kind of a funky monotone voice.
Well, you know what was weird to me? In the beginning, when there were the two brothers or whatever, I thought it was the older guy talking, but apparently it was the younger guy. I don't know. I didn't think his voice sounded like the voiceover that was in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
like, in 2015,
well, he's the guy from he's the guy from Sons of Anarchy, and he's actually not that bad in that show. I just don't think he was a super good fit for this one. Asian chick, she's fine because it's like she doesn't really speak English, so therefore her part doesn't really matter. I felt for her more than I felt for anyone really in the movie.
Right.
And then I think his name's Idris Elba, the black guy, freaking apocalypse. Freaking that guy's in everything. He's in The Losers, freaking Prometheus. You liked him?
I like him.
I thought it was one of his weaker ones, honestly.
Well, I never feel like he's really got a strong part anyway.
The whole first half, I thought he was terrible in. But then once that one guy who I didn't care for, the main actor, Sons of Anarchy guy, once he started like disobeying and stuff, and then that guy's like, hey, I'm the captain, don't ever touch me again. I was like, okay, he's kind of cool now. Yeah, he was better towards the last half of the movie, but yeah, I just didn't care. I was expecting a little bit more from him, because from the reviews, everyone was talking up Idris Elba a lot, so I was thinking he was going to have like a really good performance, but I don't think anyone had a really good performance in this.
Yeah.
That's not saying that necessarily they were terrible.
They weren't
terrible. There was no good. It was kind of like Man of Steel. It was just like everyone was sort of below on that one. Like I'd say Man of Steel actually had better performances than this one. That's just my opinion though. Anyway,
it's nothing that took me out of the film. Personally, so
it took me out of it a little bit. I don't know why, because like I said, I was expecting monsters and robots. It was fine, but dude, some of the lines were really bad. Seriously, like the father and son mostly. That weird freaking jock guy who does the Omega mech thing, and then his dad. His dad's a terrible actor, but from his looks, I wanted to like him because he was like that cool kind of rugged looking guy who looked like he could act well. But I don't know if it's his script or what, dude. But wow.
Yeah.
Ugh. A couple of those scenes, I was like, okay.
None of the lines really bothered me. But there were some weird like little parts with the two scientist guys. Like the guy needed to throw up, and there was like a toilet right next to him, or there shouldn't have been like a toilet there.
Well, I think it was like a comical moment. Like,
I know there were a bunch of weird comical moments that I felt like didn't really fit.
Ooh, going into this, I heard that there was two cheesy scientist guys. They stole the show to me. Every time they came on screen, I'm kind of getting ready to chuckle a little bit. But it was enjoyable compared to everyone else's acting and their line. And I really enjoyed that Charlie guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I really like him.
Yeah, that's who that was.
He's really funny. And then the guy from Dark Knight Rises, that creepy guy, that's the only movie I know him from. And I like how he was limping around. Felt like both of those guys were really good at the scientists they were trying to be.
I kind of like Ron Perlman. He was all right.
Ron Perlman stole the show for me when he got introduced. In the boots, the freaking gold-tipped boots. I was like, who's this douche?
I had forgotten that he was.
And then it rolls up and his freaking cheetah print. And, oh my god, I loved it. Ron Perlman. I'm just a huge fan of Ron Perlman anyway. He doesn't really need to. Yeah, he was. Those two groups of people, they were pretty good performances in the movie. The graphics, I loved them.
The graphics were pretty good.
Sweet.
You could tell, obviously, that they didn't actually have really big robots and stuff. I don't know. They did a good job blending in the graphics to the
everything
thing.
Else.
I feel like half the movie, it was like Avatar. You know how like most of the movie is graphics.
Totally.
Like anytime there was a monster, they just CGI'd the whole thing.
It was really good. It paid off. Didn't like how everything was like in the ocean though. The first time you see a fucking robot, it's in the ocean. And I'm like, how is he walking?
How is he walking on the ground? Yeah. Because the ground's not. He's not tall enough to be.
Dude, the ocean is not just however tall that guy is.
Yeah, that's in the city. I didn't even feel like it really fit there. Like as tall as the guy was, and like as wide as I felt like he should have been, I feel like his shoulders should have been like brushing up against buildings and stuff.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they only battled in like night in watery area. Like, I mean, it makes sense because they come out of the ocean, so I get it. It makes sense that they'd probably fight in the ocean.
I felt like what they were saying though, it was like the guys coming out of the rift started getting closer and closer together. At the beginning of night, those two came out, and then after that whole battle, they went under the water. So
that was weird.
And
recalling that moment, I'm like, how did those mechs like?
How did those mechs
move?
Function
how did everything
so much underneath the water?
So
like, I mean, I can believe the alien guys because you don't really
like
know
monsters,
who they are.
They swim.
Or what
they showed that a lot of them were kind of aquatic. What else, man? I don't know. Acting, the plot, graphics. That's pretty much it. It was good. Definitely see it. I'd definitely see it in theaters.
I would agree. Go see it in the theater.
Do you think there's going to be more? I don't feel like it ended like there's going to be more, but I mean, he could do whatever he wants. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10 giant hulking robots.
Robots.
Not quite anything A-worthy. It was good. It was really good though. But I mean, I don't know. There was a couple elements that took apart from it from being, if it had stellar acting and stuff, and I cared about the characters a little bit more, I'd probably give it like a 9. But I'm gonna go with like an 8.5-ish, like a B+.
I would definitely go see it in the theater, I felt like everything was fine for me.
If you're going for like a summer blockbuster, this is it. This is probably
this is
one of them.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
All right,
guys. Take care. Subscribe,
meow.
comment.
Tay.
Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Because
I mean,
punches do more than a bunch of F-150s.
F1. There's a bunch of trucks
F-18.
getting thrown at it.
F-18s going over them
F-18,
and shooting
yeah.
off the missiles or whatever.
Oh,
Some of the
God.
lines, I just thought
the acting and
it
stuff.
was that Kyle Dorothy.
Oh my God, it might have been.
Anyway,
Anyways, I just thought, oh my God, is that? No, that's not Kyle Dorothy.